This happened in 2018, but I still think about it whenever I drive at night. My friend Daniel and I were on a road trip from New Mexico to Colorado. Nothing fancy, just two guys, a borrowed sedan, and a loose plan to crash wherever we felt like stopping. We left Albuquerque around 9 p.m., thinking we'd drive halfway and find a motel. By midnight, the highway was empty in that specific way only desert roads get. No cars behind us, no headlights ahead, just long stretches of asphalt disappearing into darkness. Around 1:40 a.m., the fuel light came on. Daniel pulled out his phone. "There's a town up ahead. Says it's got gas." The exit sign looked old, faded lettering, no reflective paint. It read, "Last chance." 3 miles. That should have been enough of a warning, but we took it anyway. The road narrowed almost immediately. The highway noise vanished like someone had closed a door behind us. The town appeared suddenly, a cluster of low buildings, all one story, all facing the road. Every light was on. The gas station sat at the far end. 2 pumps, no cars, no price display. We pulled up and shut off the engine. The silence hit hard. No wind, no insects, no distant traffic, just us. Daniel got out first. The air felt colder than it should have been. As I stepped out, I noticed the convenience store door was open, but the inside lights were off. That's when I heard movement. From behind the store, slow footsteps, deliberate. A man stepped into view. Late 40s maybe, gray hoodie, hands in his pockets. He stopped a few feet away and just looked at us. No greeting. Daniel asked, "You open?" The man nodded once. Didn't move. I asked how much for gas. He stared at the pump and said, "Fill it, then leave." Something about his tone made my stomach tighten. Not threatening, just final. As the tank filled, I noticed more people. They were standing near the other buildings. Not walking, not talking, just there, watching. A woman holding a child, an older couple, a man leaning against a wall with his arms crossed, all facing us. I leaned toward Daniel and whispered, "Don't look at them." The pump clicked off. I paid in cash. The man didn't count it, just took it and stepped back. As we got into the car, the man finally spoke again. "Don't stop again." I started the engine immediately. As we drove away, I checked the mirror. They were still standing there, all of them, not waving, not moving, just watching us leave. We didn't speak for a long time. About 20 minutes later, Daniel broke the silence. "Did you notice there were no street signs?" I hadn't. Then he said something worse. "My phone had no signal in that town. The second we left, it came back." When we reached Colorado at sunrise, we stopped for breakfast. Normal place, normal people, normal noise. Out of curiosity, I searched the route we'd taken. The exit didn't exist. No last chance, no town, no gas station, just highway. To this day, I don't know where we stopped that night, but I know one thing for sure. If we'd needed anything more than gas, I don't think they would have let us leave. This happened in 2017 during a late-night drive through West Texas. My friend Caleb and I were heading back from El Paso after visiting family. We left around 9 p.m. thinking we'd beat the worst of the desert heat and reach home by morning. For the first few hours, everything felt normal. A few trucks passed us. The radio faded in and out. The road stretched on forever, straight and empty. Around 1 a.m., the highway became completely deserted. Not just quiet empty in a way that made you notice it. No taillights ahead, no headlights behind us. Even the occasional reflectors along the road seemed farther apart. That's when we saw the sign. Exit 62, services fuel light had just come on. Caleb nodded toward it. "We should probably take that." I slowed down, then hesitated. Something about the sign felt wrong. The font looked old. The paint was dull, like it hadn't been replaced in years. But Google Maps still showed a gas station there. We took the exit. The ramp curved down into darkness. The moment we left the highway, the air felt heavier. The road narrowed, and the hum of the tires sounded louder than it should have. About a mile in, we saw a single streetlight flickering ahead. Under it sat a gas station. No cars, no lights inside, just the streetlight and the pumps. I pulled up and turned off the engine. That was when the silence hit us. No wind, no insects, nothing. As we sat there, Caleb said quietly, "Do you hear that?" I didn't. Then he said, "Exactly." We both noticed it at the same time. The highway noise was gone. Completely. I opened the door anyway. The air smelled stale, like dust and metal. As I reached the pump, I noticed the prices weren't displayed. Behind the station, a door creaked open. A man stepped out. He was tall, thin, wearing a jacket despite the heat. He didn't walk toward us, he just stood there watching. I asked if they were open. He tilted his head slightly and said, "You're late." That's all he said. Caleb whispered from the car, "Get back in." I didn't argue. As I turned around, I noticed something else. There were no roads leading away from the station, except the one we came in on. We drove back to the highway in complete silence. When we merged back on, traffic suddenly reappeared. A truck passed us. Music came back on the radio. Later that night, I checked the route. Exit 62 didn't exist, and neither did the gas station. This happened in 2019, when I was driving alone from Portland to Northern California after visiting a friend. I left later than planned, around 11 p.m., and figured I'd stop somewhere halfway if I got too tired. The drive was fine at first. Light rain, fog rolling over the trees, that kind of quiet that makes night driving almost relaxing. Around 2 a.m., I realized I hadn't seen a single car in a long time. No taillights, no oncoming traffic, just my headlights cutting through the fog and the sound of rain tapping the windshield. Then I saw a sign for a rest area. I was exhausted, so I took it. The parking lot was small, maybe 6 or 7 spaces. Only one car was parked there, an older sedan, engine off, windows fogged up from the inside. That should have been my cue to leave. I parked 2 spaces away and stayed in my car, planning to just sit for a few minutes and stretch. I didn't even turn the engine off. That's when I noticed the bathroom lights were on. The building itself looked old. Concrete walls, one flickering fluorescent light above the entrance. No vending machines, no sound. I checked the time, 2:17 a.m. As I was debating whether to step out, the other car's interior light turned on. No door opened, just the light. I watched for a few seconds, expecting someone to step out. No one did. The light turned off again. At that point, I decided to leave. I put my car in reverse, and the bathroom door opened. A man stepped out slowly, late 30s maybe, hood up, hands in his pockets. He stopped under the flickering light and looked straight at my car, not at the other one, at me. He didn't move closer, didn't wave, just stood there. Then he smiled. It wasn't wide or exaggerated, just enough to make it worse. I pulled out immediately. As I drove past the exit, I checked my mirror. The man was walking toward the other car now, the car that hadn't moved the entire time. The next rest area was almost 90 miles away. I didn't stop, not even when I needed to. When I finally did pull over at sunrise, I checked the map history. That rest area wasn't listed. No name, no marker, nothing. Just a stretch of road where I remember stopping and the feeling that if I'd turned my engine off, someone would have been waiting for me to step out.